Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morris, and let's queer up faith. Pope Leo to continue blessing same-sex couples. But is that enough? The new Pope will continue to bless same-sex couples, marking a complex but significant moment for LGBTQ Catholics around the world. Pope Leo XIV, who once denounced what he called, quote, the homosexual lifestyle, quote, will uphold his predecessor's groundbreaking 2023 decision allowing priests to bless queer unions. That's according to Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernández, head of the Vatican's doctrine office. When asked whether Pope Leo would revoke those blessings, Fernández responded, quote, I really don't think so. The declaration will remain, end quote. These blessings do not equate to same-sex marriage, which the Church still forbids. LGBTQ advocates are reacting cautiously to this news. Francis Bernardo of New Ways Ministry said, quote, we pray that in the 13 years that have passed, 12 of which were under the papacy of Pope Francis, that his heart and mind have developed more progressively on LGBTQ plus issues. And we will take a wait-and-see attitude to see if that has happened, end quote. Though now signaling a more inclusive stance, Pope Leo, then Bishop Robert Prevost, once criticized media portrayals of queer families as too sympathetic. He lamented how alternative families like that of same-sex partners and their adopted children are so sympathetically portrayed in television programs and cinema. One thing is for sure, the road to full inclusion in the Catholic Church is far from over. You know, I see this sort of story, and the first thing I think is like, whatever his personal feelings are, the Catholic Church, as a non-expert, I only went to like Catholic school as a kid, they don't like change. So Francis said we're going to do it. I don't see the next Pope being like, well, let's just completely reverse it. They don't act like the current Supreme Court and just going loosey-goosey with it. But at the same time, you know, like, you don't like that families are shown sympathetically? What the heck is that supposed to mean? Like, wake up, Pope Leo. Goodness. But I guess we have a few people of faith in the room that might want to comment.
My gosh, what a surprise. When I read this story, I realized, well, that's nice to know. Welcome to the 21st century. I can understand the Catholic Church's reluctance to make change in itself. Like I said, it's been strong against change. There are so many people who want to hold true to whatever faith is, like the gold standard of Catholicism for people. Well, they may not disagree with things. That's why I left the Catholic Church. I disagreed with many thinkings, and the Catholic Church of America will not bless you, will marry you. I'll be more than glad to marry anybody, as long as you love each other and show that. It is more about, for people who are dyed-to-wool Catholics, it's important to realize there is some light of hope. Mm-hmm. So it's a good sign. And again, it's more the affirming instead of accepting. It's affirming.
Right. And as a recovering Catholic, you know, I think the Church is one step forward, two steps back, three steps forward, half a step back. I mean,
it's foxtrot.
It's constantly, yeah, it truly is, because the word marriage in this conversation, while it's got a religious definition, for the American political system, marriage, the only reason we've chosen the word marriage is because it's financially and politically determined by the history of the United States judicial system. We didn't choose the word marriage for a religious reason, we chose it for a legal reason, because for our rights as gay men and women, we have to marry, we have to that allows us financial benefits, that allows us inheritance benefits, that allows us health benefits, right. The legal benefits, that allows us adoption, that allows us to you know, passing and everything else. I mean, it's not a religious tone that we're choosing that word necessarily. It's defined by the political system that we're in. And I think that's the same for 99% of the other countries around the world. The word marriage is a political word. It's not a religious word. I'm at least thankful that he's willing to continue the step and a half forward. It's not the mile that we all want, but I think we need to be grateful for that, because like you just said earlier, I mean, it could be like the Supreme Court, and it's like, well, give me that back. I didn't mean to say that, even though it was 20 minutes ago. So it's one of those odd situations. And then on top of that, the Catholic Church has a history of gay marriage. They used to marry priests. Yes. You know, I don't know what year but there's 100-year history of married priests and men being married to get to men. You know, it's kind of a, you know, what side of the world do you want to live on today? Right. But at least I'm thankful for the Pope to at least be willing to be a little more open, even though he's only looking at it from a biblical sense.
No, to be perfectly frank, Christianity has always been messed up after Thomas Aquinas. He was a former, for those that don't know, he was a sex addict turned non-sex addict, and he just really made a weird warping of their faith. I know I'm going to get all sorts of mail from that now, but too bad. Look it up.
And King James.
Cuckoo.
I mean, King James, who wrote the King James Bible, he was as queer as a $2 bill.
I mean, as someone who's very against organized religion. I mean, you brought it up, actually. Marriage has nothing to do with religion at all. It was actually founded by the Greeks and the Romans to allow their slaves and people to marry for property. So marriage has always been a legal document. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until Christianity came about that they started acquiring stuff. So I'm glad that the Catholic Church has said, we will recognize this. But also, funny enough, the Catholics do have a doctrine that says that they will recognize any marriage that is legally recognized by the state in which it is. I did a whole thesis on this, and it's a weird thing. So technically, the Catholic Church should be recognizing gay marriages because their doctrine says so. However, I will agree with you. I think this is a glimmer of hope, to be positive about this. The fact that we have somebody who has been, they being the Catholic Church, has been typically against LGBT communities in general, is at least recognizing that we're not so bad, and that we are part of the the greater collective community of the world, and that yes, you two getting together is okay by me.
Yeah.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.